Treacy, the president of Sagamore Spirit.
I am Terence Sullivan. I am product manager at Sierra Nevada. Been there for just past my 26th year. So, Brian, tell me a little bit about the Brewers Select. I'm looking forward to whenever I get a taste. And obviously, you've already started a little bit on your bottle.
A little bit.
A little bit. All right.
It's incredible. Yeah, this is obviously highly anticipated. So, backstory for those who don't know, every Friday we celebrate is Friday Rye Day. And then when it lands on the 13th, or Friday the 13th, that's our holiday. So we get 1 to 2 a year, Friday the 13th. And
nice.
And, we decided we were going to go maybe try and trademark that. And somebody looks like they own the marks already, and it was you. And so here in Nevada, I guess you did a beer maybe at one point, Friday the 13th, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so we've got nothing to lose. We're just a little bitty company here. So we decided to reach out and say, what are the odds of you guys wanting to, let us use the marks or something? And you guys came back to us and said, what are the odds of you giving us some rye grain and 50 barrels? We're like,
we always have a plan, I
was like, that's a no-brainer. So that was the coolest thing anybody's ever done. So thank you for that. How do you feel rye whiskey, rye barrels complement the beer? I mean, do you like the way rye is? Do you like the way it works?
Yeah, one of the things I really love, like working with rye whiskeys and even rye grain in essence, is that kind of spiciness and kind of, at least for me, I get a lot of bell peppery type of characteristics, and I love just that spicy nature. And so when actually we're designing the beer that we did with you guys, the idea behind that was to really kind of accentuate some of that spicy notes, a little bit of earthy, grassy notes. So we use Saaz hops, and those really accentuate that. Yep. That's and so it just melded all those flavors together in my opinion, and I think rye is actually I like bourbon aged beers. Rye is definitely one of my favorite types of whiskey to age beer in, because it just adds a lot of characteristic to the beer that rye can be. It has a distinct flavor that you can kind of really project something else that you're in your recipe of your base beer to kind of accentuate that characteristic. And I got to ask you this question, because when I'm dealing in that realm, I'm dealing with a lot of really super beer enthusiasts that are we tend to sometimes call them beer geeks. that just absolutely love experimentation and it's a double-edged sword, right? I love pale ale, but I love experimenting with that stuff too. Do you guys see that same thing with like your fan base, as far as when you guys come out with something new and odd and I can only get this now, I better get it? So.
Well, we just released our Brewer Select that we did with you. This just came out. And as you can see, I'm enjoying mine. Not much left of this.
Absolutely.
But people are blown away about like this complementary sweetness and maltiness that came out of that really balances with that rye spice. And it was, as you know, we did such a small amount with you guys. I'm getting blown up from Arizona to North Carolina saying, how do I get my hands on it? But our team, as you may or may not know already, Maryland didn't have a lot of distilleries, if any at all. So one of the things that we quickly learned about when it came to hiring a team, which I'm really glad we did, is whiskey really is, for the most part, about fermentation and then aging. Everyone thinks of that still, and the still is very important. I don't want to take anything away from it. The process is incredibly important. A lot can go wrong in that. But if you think 50% of your flavor comes from fermentation, well, where do you think you should be hiring from, right? Like,
this is what I've heard.
Yeah. So
I heard you have a lot of brewers there.
Yeah, we got a lot of brewers here, and I'm glad we do, because those guys get it. They get fermentation. They're really keen to it. They love consistency. They love excellence. They love the make it perfect again and again and again. But let's have a little fun on the side too, right? And that's where we come out with this Sagamore Reserve series, the Brewers Select, and they're small, 125 cases, not a big run, but enough for those that are really kind of, we call them whiskey geeks, and they're loyal to the brand, absolutely have to have in their collection. Whiskey's finished in beer barrels is not all that common, really, at the end of the day. And so you don't see many of these, and people are getting really excited. And we see a lot of people that appreciate whiskey, appreciate a really good craft beer too. So it's got a lot of the same community within it. So, and then our guys, they love beer and they love whiskey. So they're always trying to find a way to put those two worlds together.
Right. It takes a lot of good beer to make good whiskey and vice versa.
This has been cool, man.
It
means a lot for a small brand like us, for you guys to be so willing to work with us and take in our Maryland rye grain and even let some of our team come out there and be part of the process. It's still really one of the greatest things that's ever happened to us. And it's been a pleasure working with such a legendary brand like yourselves that really define quality and then give back so much to and consider so much when it comes to sustainability. And not just now when a lot of people are talking about it, but have been since day one. Again, thank you guys for just the opportunity. And I hope we can someday do more of this, down the road.
Yeah, absolutely. And Brian, it's been an honor as well to get to know everyone at Sagamore. And, I got to say that there's a lot to be said for your aspects towards quality and kind of local and just, telling your story and the spring water and everything, the rye grain. It just it resonates with a company like ourselves that was kind of founded on those same pillars throughout our 40 years, and we love partnering with like-minded people. I love collaborations because I get to meet new people. I get to meet you, right?